Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our new episode of Second Lord in the 11th House. And what happens when Second Lord is in the 11th house in your horoscope? Well, first of all, what is the second house? Second house represents your hoarded wealth, your own wealth, your savings, your family assets. It's your valuables like jewelry and gems, including stocks or gold, silver, anything that you use as a part of your saving and assets. Second house is philosophically and spiritually is known as the house of your value. What do you value? And second house is the house of your family, because it's second from your first house, and first house is your physical self. So family becomes the gain of your physical self. So it represents family, it represents speech, it represents intake of foods. So a lot of things are seen through the second house. Now, what is the 11th house? Well, 11th house in this day and age is perhaps the most important house that you will come to meet. It is a house of gains. It is a house of how much liquid gains are you getting in life. It is a house of incoming gains, whether it's through business, salary, government assistance, inheritance, whatever. 11th house always has to be strong and present in your horoscope during the time when you're trying to find out if you're going to get money or not. So 11th house is a very important house. It's just, a lot of incoming gains. So 11th house is a house of your elder siblings. It is a house of your network circle, your professional network circle more so, because it is second from the 10th house. So it is gain of the 10th house. Gain of the 10th house comes through network. When you network with people, when you meet people at different organizations, different groups, different kind of, intellectual settings where you can just meet people and grow as a person. And this is why 11th house is known as a house of large corporations, large scientific groups. It's about, scientific thinking and groups that want to help the countries and the world evolve. This is why 11th house is also known as a house of stock markets. It's a house of business and entrepreneurship, because it is business, stock market, and world markets that really make the world go around. So 11th house has been given that significance, and 7th from the 11th is the 5th house, which represents stock market and speculative investments. So they have that access. But this is what 11th house is. Now, when second house goes into the 11th house, it is actually perhaps the most powerful Dhan Yoga in your horoscope. Dhan Yoga, if you don't know, it means wealth. Dhan means wealth. Yoga means a combination for wealth. So when your second Lord planet, the planet that controls your second house, is sitting in the 11th house in your birth horoscope, it shows that there's a potential to make a lot of money. But that'll happen in the Mahadasha, or the time period of that planet of the second house that is sitting in the 11th house. Because it's just a combination from wealth to gain is, bringing that liquid wealth and yogas in your life. However, depending upon what planet controls your second house, you will get different results, But mainly what it shows that your source of security and source of your wealth and what you value is of the things of 11th house. You value your network circle. You value the people that you know around you professionally and personally. You have a great chance of getting gains through your elder sibling, whether it's male or female, depending upon the planet. And you value working with large organizations. You want to be, let's say, a banker. Usually this is a very strong indication for somebody who's in investment banking, working for a large financial institution, and working with other people and trying to just get the momentum of the marketplace going. So there's a lot of positiveness in this union of the planet, or I should say placement of the planets. But depending upon, like I said, what planet rules your second house, you're gonna slightly, it's gonna have a different path in your life. So let's say if Sun rules your second house, Sun rules the second house of your horoscope, goes into the 11th house. It shows that your gains, will definitely come through either father or fatherly figures. Your father will be the one that will just provide you with gains. Because here's the thing about the 11th house. 11th house is also the house of asking and receiving. Like in 11th house, when you ask for help, you get help. When you ask for money, you get money. So when second house lords go to the 11th house as the sun ruling it, it shows that your father will be a tremendous, tremendously involved in you gaining money. You can gain money through government. You will gain money through family assets, your father's assets. Maybe your father left you a lot of assets and now you are using that as an incoming gain for yourself. It shows that your source of earnings and source of gain can come through creative pursuits like singing or maybe sculpting and artistry, because sign of Taurus is where sun is when it rules the second house and it's ruled by Venus. So what you experience is you experience gain through sensual pleasures. So moon rules your second house. Moon rules your second house, as in the house of Cancer, goes into the 11th house, shows that moon is going to be in the sign of Aries, and it shows that your source of wealth will come through the mother, will come through competition. You will try to make wealth by, especially with this placement, it'll show that you will gain mainly through a lot of people who are there to take advantage of the marketplace, or take advantage of people who are their customers. Because moon is a tamasic sign of competition, aggressiveness, doing whatever it takes to win the battle. So obviously shows that gains can come through mom and just asking your mother for gains, but it also shows that through your network circle you will gain a lot. However, you may gain through putting fear and anxiety into other people. You may be a very slick salesman who puts fear into other people and gets the gain. And your mind, since moon represents your mind, your peace of mind, and second house is a house of your value. It shows what you value is when you're working with other people and just gaining as much as you can. That's where your peace of mind comes in. Your peace of mind comes in interacting with other people, especially males or women who are very strong in personality, women who are very determined in personality. Those are the people you come in contact with, and those are the people you will gain through. But the gains may not be so honest, because of the tamasicness of this fiery sign. Let's say if Mercury rules your second house, and Mercury goes into the 11th house. Mercury is what? Mercury is your intelligence, logical mind. It is your analytical thinking. Mercury is business, communication, speech, and salesmanship and marketing. So definitely shows that what you value is, first of all, business and enterprise, but you also value people who are just as business minded as you are. You try to collect individuals who are perhaps more business minded than you, and you want to learn from them. You can be a very articulate, very good, salesman and a speaker. And you gain through speaking. You gain through providing logical intelligence to the world. So this can represent a lot of things, like since Mercury's calculations and the second house lord of wealth goes into the 11th house of gain, shows that you can be an accountant, you can be a financial analyst, a stockbroker. But anything that you do, you're going to want to make it your business. You're going to want to go through that process by being in charge and managing things. A really great financial managers can come through this. Okay, but it can also represent communication. You go out there in large organization, you give speeches, and that's how you get your gains. Venus rules your second house. If Venus rules your second house, it can show that your gain can come through, first of all, your wife. Especially for a spouse and wife. For a man, it'll show a wife, unless you're lesbian, it'll show your wife. But mainly shows that your gain will come through the wife, and especially after you're married. So if you're single with this placement of Venus ruling the second house and then the 11th house, it shows that that triggering point really will be activated through your wife, your spouse. But it also shows that you will mainly deal with women. You will deal with things related to women in order to gain your money. Like Venus can represent a lot of things. Venus is your spouse, obviously. It represents females or any kind of other females other than your family members. It also shows sensual pleasure, artisticness, culture, performing arts, self-expression, any kind of artistry and creativeness within us. is really Venus, love for relationships. So these people, what it shows, they love forming relationship with other. Their value comes in when they're forming beautiful relationships. When they're forming a relationship with women, they will have a lot of customers as women, because through women they will gain. And what it shows, through female products, things that women love, you will gain through that. Whatever, it could be cosmetics, it could be women magazines, movies, foods, even even in finance, if you just relate yourself to women more and women's business, you will gain more. So that's how these planetary energies work. Obviously, with aspects and conjunction, it will alter that for the better or worse. Okay, so let's say Mars rules your second house. If Mars rules your second house and Mars goes into the 11th house, it shows that, first of all, what you value is competition in the marketplace, competition in organization. You want to be a general and take over things. That's what you value. Like when you go towards the house of gains, you want to gain power. Just like the sun, but Mars is far more forceful because Mars is a soldier. Your willpower. Mars is your competitive behavior. It's your strength. So your strength comes to taking leadership roles in an organization or anywhere where there's a network circle. It also shows that your profit will come through your brother, your elder brother. It will come through a lot of male friends and male customers. Things related to what men might do. So, and there's a lot of energy and a lot of fluctuations of coming and going money, because Mars shows recycling things. Mars can show coming and going because Mars is a soldier. He doesn't really know the value of savings. So what it shows, somebody who's into a financial business, but they're more into just like making it and spending it, making it and spending it. But there's a lot of aggression, there's a lot of forcefulness into making money. These guys will force their way into any kind of institution and would want to aggressively pursue their financial wealth. And a lot of billionaires have been seen with these Mars placements. Okay, let's say Jupiter rules your second house. And Jupiter rules your second house, goes into the 11th house. Again, what? Jupiter is a significator of finance. It's a significator of higher learning, divine knowledge. And it's a significator of anything that is, old school culture, our cultural needs. So what this shows is that obviously you can be a banker. With Jupiter ruling the second house of money in the 11th house of gains, shows a banker, financial analyst, somebody working in finance and banking, somebody with an MBA and with a great financial management skills. So accounting is very strong with Mercury and Jupiter being in the 11th house. It shows that your network circle is going to be with mature and very conservative people who may be either spiritual or religious. Those are the people that you will have in your network circles, and through their guidance you will make more. Through the guidance of your gurus and teachers, you will make more. Like maybe your teacher came up with an idea and say, hey, why don't we do a business? Because I know you're good at this and I'm good at this too. Let's do something together. A lot of people have made wealth through their professors, through their teachers, through their gurus. So a lot of divine type people become your network circle. If Saturn rules your second house, Saturn goes into the 11th house, it can show that your wealth and your money can come through either maternal uncle. It'll come through very old folks, very old and very strict and very law-abiding people. So it can show you can work in the government where there's a lot of these, conservative people working. You can work you can get your gains through organization that helps elderly people. And Saturn is a significator. Well, first of all, let me just say Saturn is boundaries. Saturn is discipline, order, structure, organization. Okay, Saturn represents oil and steel and iron. So you can show your gains can come through oil companies. Your gains can come through investing into oil companies or companies of metal and iron. And you can also it shows that your gains will come through managing other people who are perhaps of an older age. So you can be it's related to finance. So you can be a financial advisor to very old folks, very old people. But Saturn is Saturn is boundaries. It's a slow planet. So it shows your gains they rise steadily. You build your network steadily. Like sometimes your friend might know like 40 people. and they have all these different avenues to go to in terms of making arrangements for their business. You do the same thing, but you have Saturn in the 11th house. It shows that you will make networks slowly with more mature and older people, and slowly it'll increase and it'll accelerate to the point, because 11th house is a upachya house. Any malefic planet like Saturn, Mars, Sun, Rahu, Ketu, they all do well in upachya house, including Ketu. Okay, it can just show like gains that you don't even care about and you're getting. But malefics do very well in the upachya houses, so it shows that Saturn will accelerate slowly, and then it'll just take off after like age of 36, 37. You'll start to get gains through things related to Saturn. Okay, so this is how you should start looking at these house to house series. All right, so guys, this is my analysis of second lord in the 11th house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below, and if you want to know where your Saturn is placed and where your other planets are placed, if they're in the 11th house of gains, for that, check out the links below. Check out my books there, Astrology, Aspects, and Conjunctions at the Speed of Light. And when you get these books, I will send you the link to look at your own chart. And also, by September 7th, you will get a full astrological report that will be offered on my website as well, which is the most accurate coordinates of planets anywhere. Like, this is like going to be the one-stop shop for you to see exactly where your planets are placed, because I know different people see different placements in different websites. I'm going to take the guesswork out. All right. Otherwise, see you next time. Bye-bye.